Hello, art party people. So in this video, I go into detail on how to do this style and using the colors you see here. The first thing you are going to want to do is trace a circular form, or you can draw it. You don't have to trace it for your moon. Next, if you received these brushes from the art party supply pickup, I would use one of the two larger brushes, or any brush would do. We are going to be blending a lot of these colors here. You see, I'm starting around that circular form with the blue, and I'm going back and forth between the blue paint and water to kind of help the paint spread. And for this style, you definitely want to take the swirls all the way out to the edges. After washing and drying my brush, I dipped into some purple, and now I'm going to start swirling that in. So notice I'm using the darker colors first before I blend in the white. Here I'm going to start adding in the white, starting with the center of my moon, and then working my way out and around, blending it in with the other colors I've already applied. This is going to be a lot of back and forth work to kind of get the look that you want. Right now I'm adding white, but as you can see, I'm going to go back in with blue, maybe some purple, and I keep doing that until I get the background look that I really want. And now is when you are going to want to dry it. You could use a blow dryer or just allow it to air dry. Now I'm going to start the trees. I start with a point, and I'm pulling my brush down and outwards to try to get these limbs. And you'll see I'll go back in if there's any sparse areas to add that again. For this brush, I'm using, if you got the pack that was handed out at school, the smaller size 6 square brush or the smaller size 4 rounded brush are good ones to use for this. Right now I'm filling in sparse areas and building up the paint in other areas. I chose to do my trees white. I thought that they really contrasted with the background, but you could choose to do silver trees. You could try blue trees, purple trees, whichever you prefer. Here I notice I had a little wet paint, so I'm going to try to avoid that area when I go to make my next tree. Here I did 2 trees, but you could do 2, 3, as many or as few as you would like. Again, this is a balance between layering, kind of trying to figure out what color you would like. I like that in some spots where the white isn't as heavy, you can see the blue kind of peek through, almost like you would see the sky peek through branches. And now before I add the final silver details, I'm going to allow this to dry as well or use a blow dryer. Again, if you have the paint supply pack from school, you are going to want to use those really small brushes with the small tips in order to go in and add these silver details. I liked that it just looked like the snow was glistening on these white trees, so I'm using a smaller brush. I initially try flicking the silver paint on here to get that splatter effect and then realize that it would be easier to go back to one of those smaller pointed brushes and just add the dots myself. I add some silver dots. I also added some blue, purple, and white dots all around to make it look like a flurry and a night sky kind of happening here. I try a couple of twinkly stars as well, which I found to be a little bit difficult, even with the pointed brushes, but you could definitely try it for yourself if you would like. They're those pointed stars that kind of look like the star emoji, if you think of that. I end up deciding I'm not a huge fan of this one, so I gently dab it with one of my paper towels and try to remove it. And then you'll notice I'll go back in and try it again. And it leaves this little ghost like impression happening behind it. So I don't quite mind it really because everything else is kind of swirling and blending as well. And there you have it, friends. I hope you enjoy.